Hi, who here loves when their nails are perfectly done? Me. I'm Sarah Gibson Tuttle, and I started Olive in June because, let's be real, we all deserve to have gorgeous nails, but who wants to spend a fortune or half their day at the salon? And that's why I created the Mani system, so you can have that salon-perfect manicure right at home. And guess what? The best part? Each mani only costs $2. Yep, you heard me, $2. No more $30, $40, $50 salon trips that eat up your day. Now you can paint your nails whenever you want, wherever you want, and trust me, you're gonna be obsessed with your nails and everyone is gonna ask you, where did you get your nails done? And here's a little something extra. Head over to oliveinjune.com and get 20% off your first Mani system with code PERFECTMANI20 at oliveinjune.com/PERFECTMANI20. That's code PERFECTMANI20 for 20% off at oliveinjune.com/PERFECTMANI20. You're all set for a nail glow up. Let's get those nails looking fabulous, shall we?
Did you know you can save up to 70% on your favorite brands every single day? FromRebel.com sells strollers, car seats, espresso machines, skincare, cookware, everything you need for your home, your family, and your life, all for way less. Here's how it works. Every day, Rebel drops thousands of new products for up to 70% off. It's a nonstop feed of deals from brands like UPPAbaby, Nuna, Baby Bjorn, Nespresso, Breville, Wilson, Dyson, Caraway, and more. But every listing is one of a kind. So if you see something you love, you have to move fast. Why pay full price when you don't have to? From baby gear to tech to self-care staples, Rebel helps you save big on brands you know and love. Shop now at FromRebel.com.
If your team isn't using ClickUp, you're wasting time, and data proves it. 61% of knowledge workers manage work more than doing it, switching apps 1,000 times a day. That's work sprawl and costs millions. ClickUp replaces 20 apps with Convergence, uniting projects, docs, and chats, while AI super agents handle the busy work. Join 4 million teams using ClickUp to finish work 30% faster. Try it free and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast. ClickUp just solved AI's biggest problem, and it's saving 4 million teams from productivity loss every day. Unlike ChatGPT and other AI tools, ClickUp converges all your work into one platform, so your AI super agents have full context to prioritize tasks, execute workflows, and draft documents instantly. Teams using ClickUp finish work 30% faster and cut meetings in half. Try ClickUp for free today and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast.
Hi, it's Sarah. I'm the founder of Olive in June, and can I tell you the one thing that always makes my day better? A fresh manicure. But who has the time or the money to go to the salon every week? That's why we created the Olive in June Gel Mani system. It gives you that same mani that you get at a salon for so much less. It comes with everything you need, a pro-level lamp, salon-grade tools, our damage-free gel polish that lasts up to 21 days. All you do is prep, paint, cure, and you're good to go. And the best part, it's super easy and so affordable. Each mani breaks down to $2. So let's skip that $80 salon appointment and get the salon quality look at home for so much less and on your schedule. Head to oliveinjune.com/DIYGel20 and use code DIYGel20 for 20% off your first gel mani system. That's oliveinjune.com/DIYGel20. Code DIYGel20 for 20% off your first gel mani system.
Hello, I'm Sarah and welcome to the Whispering Woods podcast. I am flying solo today. Toby is busy, so I'm recording on my own. Before we get into it, we have a new patron. I want to say a big thank you to GamerNerd78. Thank you so much for joining the patron. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/The Whispering Woods, where we have a number of tiers And for a small monthly fee, you can listen ad-free. We are also on Apple Premium, and for $4.99 a month, you can listen to all episodes ad-free. And just a little point on that, we will be picking up the amount of episodes again in April, around that sort of time. So just bear with us. It's a quieter time. It's grey. It's lonely. I'm feeling it. But we will pick up again in April. It's just a bit of downtime at the beginning of the year. Right, I'll get straight into the story. And this episode is all about Meaford Mary. Are you ready for the story? Long before Meaford, near the shores of Georgian Bay, Ontario, became a military training centre. It was farmland, a patchwork of pioneer homesteads, orchards and village life. The legend of the blue-eyed ghost dates back to those early days, before the military ownership of the land. According to local law, in the 19th century, a little girl living on one of the farms met a terrible fate. One evening, as her mother called her in for supper, the girl wandered off the safe path while eagerly picking wildflowers. In her hurry to run home, she didn't see the old well that had been boarded up, a known hazard her parents had warned her about. The rotten boards gave way under her small feet. She plunged into the hidden well and could not climb out. The poor child screamed and cried for help as cold water rose around her. But by the time her frantic family found her, it was far too late. Only after long, desperate hours of searching did they discover her lifeless body at the bottom of the well, a victim of drowning and hypothermia in the dark. The grief-stricken family laid their daughter to rest on the property, in a small rural graveyard near where she died. The tombstone's weathered inscription is hard to read now, but local historians believe it marks the grave of a 7-year-old girl in the memory of May Williams, died June 26, 1890, age 7, 1 month, 8 days. It's a lonely little grave deep in the woods, encircled by a low stone border and gnarled trees. In death, May's epitaph sweetly proclaims that she has gone to heaven before us, in the fair and happy land. But in the folklore of Meaford, her spirit never truly left. Over the decades that followed, the quiet farming community emptied out. In 1942, as World War II raged, the Canadian government expropriated these 17,000 acres of land to establish a tank and artillery training range. Families were forced to pack up and leave their ancestral farms, their houses and even small cemeteries left behind as the military moved in. Army training camps sprang up amid the old stone foundations and overgrown orchards. The base at Meaford, officially the 4th Canadian Division Training Centre, is remote and sprawling. About 50 square kilometres of rocky hills and dense forest, riddled with ruins of old stone farms and dilapidated graveyards. Even today, the remains of former settlements and family burial plots dot the training area. It's in this evocative setting, a beautiful landscape with an uneasy past, that the legend of the little girl's ghost took root and thrived. No one knows exactly when base personnel first started encountering something uncanny in the Meaford training area. But as long as soldiers have patrolled these moonlit woods, stories have circulated of a child's apparition wandering among the ruins. At some point, troops began calling the ghost Meaford Mary, giving the nameless girl a familiar, almost affectionate nickname. It's a nod perhaps to other classic ghost legends, like Chicago's Resurrection Mary, and it rolls easily off the tongue. Meaford Mary sounds like someone you might have known, yet many also refer to her simply as Blue Eyes, highlighting the single most striking detail witnesses report. 2 shining blue orbs, like the glowing eyes of a child peering out from the darkness of the trees. Those uncanny blue eyes have been described again and again by those who claim to have seen her. One young soldier recalled manning a night watch position at 3 a.m. and seeing 2 glowing blue lights, like eyes, bobbing in the distance, moving as if a little girl were walking toward him. Yet there was no sound of footsteps and no rustle of the underbrush. As the blue lights drifted closer, the watcher's blood ran cold. He then heard the faint sound of a girl softly crying in the darkness before the lights vanished abruptly, leaving him shaken. Experiences like this have been shared by dozens of military personnel at Meaford over the years, so much so that the number of army personnel who've reported a hair-raising experience near the old well and grave is remarkable. These accounts usually come at night, during training exercises that place soldiers out in the field after midnight, the so-called witching hour. A typical report might go like this. A section of troops on a 3 a.m. reconnaissance patrol moves along an old trail, eyes scanning the woods for simulated enemies. It's a still, windless night. The men are spread out, fatigued and bleary-eyed under their night vision goggles. Suddenly the air around them turns ice cold, and the hair on their necks stands up, an involuntary response to the feeling that someone unseen is watching them. Peering through the green tint of their night vision, they catch a glimpse of a white apparition far off in the trees, a small, pale figure that none of their equipment is picking up. One soldier blinks and lifts his goggles, not quite trusting what he saw. The figure is gone. But then echoing through the woods, a childlike voice rings out. "Help me. Please help me." The plea is drawn out, timid and desperate. The sound raises goosebumps on every listener. The patrol leader's stomach drops in recognition. This is the legendary cry they were warned about. In one widely shared account, a Meaford infantry instructor described how his section reacted on just such a night. Upon hearing the distant little girl's voice calling for help, one of his men immediately broke formation and started moving toward the sound, instinctively ready to rescue a child. The sergeant grabbed the young private and pulled him back, ordering everyone to hold their positions. "No," he warned, in a hushed but firm tone. "That's the way to the old well. Lots of troops have fallen into that well. Lucky none had died yet, but anyone who has went after the little girl has fallen in." In other words, the voice in the woods is a trap. Whether a tragic echo of the past or something more malicious, no one can say. But it lures the unwary straight toward that gaping, overgrown well shaft where the real girl met her end. This particular team got out of the area fast, wisely leaving Blue Eyes unanswered in the dark forest. They later admitted to laughing it off a bit, telling themselves it must have been a prank or a trick of the imagination. but not one of them was eager to return to that spot anytime soon. Another soldier recounted a follow-up encounter about a year after his first experience. Once again, in the pre-dawn hours, while on a training patrol, he scanned the tree line through infrared night vision goggles. This time, he clearly saw a little girl in a flowing white nightgown, standing among the foliage about 150 metres away. The figure was the size of a child, with a long pale dress and bare feet, attire decades out of date. And though she was distant, the soldier had the eerie sense that she was staring right at him. No cry came from the apparition on this occasion, and when he blinked, she was gone. But the cold, uneasy feeling in the air lingered, convincing him and others that Meaford Mary had made another appearance. Several people have reported feeling they were being watched, or seeing shadowy human figures through night vision goggles when operating in the area of Blue Eye's grave, notes one local historian, adding that such sightings often come with that same bone-deep chill, but no harmful episodes, apart from the original drowning that birthed the legend. Blue Eye seems content to frighten and beckon, but if the stories are to be believed, she hasn't physically hurt anyone in modern times. But those who claim to have seen her are left profoundly rattled by the encounter, convinced they witnessed something beyond the ordinary. The activity isn't confined to one single eyewitness, or even one generation. These ghost stories have become part of the fabric of life at CFB Meaford. Talk to almost any soldier who was trained there, and they've either experienced something or know someone who has. Even sceptical officers acknowledge that Meaford's eerie atmosphere lends itself to ghostly tales. The base is remote, often cold and wet, and filled with echoes of its past. The sense of intrusion and the remaining legacy of the former inhabitants, ruins, cemeteries, etc., provide an ominous backdrop. Throw in sleep deprivation, and you have the perfect recipe for a ghost story. In such an environment, the line between legend and reality can blur in the early hours of morning. Over time, the legend of the Meaford Ghost Girl has grown so well known that it's taken on the qualities of folklore and tradition. Many long-time instructors even incorporate the tale into training for a bit of morbid fun or psychological conditioning. Recruits arriving at Meaford are often greeted with straight-faced stories of Meaford Mary. When you arrive in Meaford, you start hearing the story in passing. Even the old guard knows about her, one former trainee remembers. As the course progresses, senior staff might solemnly brief the newcomers on the ghosts said to roam in the woods, instilling that tiny seed of dread. Then, on some dark night, they spring the trap. A few sergeants sneak out ahead of the group to rig a convincing scare. One veteran recounted how Meaford staff would crack open a couple of blue glow sticks, leaving just the tips exposed to mimic glowing eyes, and hide small speakers that emit the faint sound of a girl crying. In the middle of a navigation exercise, the hapless trainees might stumble upon the glowing blue dots hovering in the darkness and hear that plaintive "help me" echoing through the trees. The effect, by all accounts, is terrifying. Even once the prank is revealed, the recruits are left jittery. On at least one occasion, 2 instructors ended up pranking each other, escalating the fright to the point where even the pranksters got a good scare. These deliberate hoaxes have become their own kind of ritual on the base. They're a way for the battle-hardened to have a laugh and blow off steam, and for the greenhorns to earn a ghost story of their own to tell. But not all encounters can be so easily explained away. While skeptics attribute most sightings to confusion, exhaustion or tricks of the light, etc., and indeed sleep-deprived soldiers have hallucinated far less fantastical things. Some incidents leave even cynics scratching their heads. In an online forum, one Canadian Forces member recalled seeing the blue-eyed apparition in the training area and insisting it wasn't the course staff either, hinting that what he witnessed was not a staged joke. Another poster chimed in to confirm there's an old gravesite near one of the live fire ranges. People say it's haunted by Meaford Mary. Details like these, the consistency of the descriptions, the precise location by that lonely grave, and the recurrence over many years have kept the legend credible within the military community. Blue Eyes has been scaring soldiers for at least a few decades. One person shared a memory that back in 1998, his older brother returned from infantry training at Meaford with tales of blue eyes that absolutely terrified. The family's younger siblings, the younger brother, only 6 years old at the time, admitted the story kept him awake for nights. He didn't dare get up to go to the bathroom in the dark for fear she might be waiting in the hallway. Such is the power of this tale. But it extends beyond those who personally set foot on the base. Locals in the nearby town of Meaford are certainly aware of the ghost in their backwoods. The story of the little girl who drowned and allegedly haunts the training grounds is occasionally mentioned around the community, especially come Halloween. Some residents might laugh at the idea of a ghost roaming the old tank range, but as one commenter wryly observed, it's the kind of tale we might mock, but would be reluctant to wander in that particular area at night. Few people, even die-hard skeptics, would volunteer to hike out to the overgrown well after midnight, just to prove Meaford Mary doesn't exist. There's an unspoken respect for the legend, a sense that if she's out there, it's best not to provoke a meeting. This local wariness is reinforced by the fact that the base, with its 3 marked cemeteries and many unmarked family plots, is off limits to civilian explorers. The military strictly controls access, and for safety reasons, and perhaps superstitious ones too. They don't allow personnel to tamper with or camp near the grave sites in the training area. Those mossy gravestones, including the little girls, are maintained but largely left alone, islanded in the forest as time and training exercises swirl around them. Over the years, researchers and enthusiasts have tried to pin down the true identity of the ghostly girl. The name Mary may simply be an alliterative nickname, as no historical record of a Mary matching the story exists in that immediate area. Instead, evidence points to May Williams, the 7-year-old buried in 1890, as a likely source of the legend. Interestingly, May is a name often used as a diminutive of Mary or Mary Ann, so it's possible the names got muddled as the oral tale was passed along. Another candidate put forward was Janet Ann McLaren, whose solitary grave, dated 1874, lies within the base and was noted early on by troops. Janet was 19 when she died, older than the little girl of legend, but her headstone's lonely prominence led some to suspect a connection. One version of the legend of the girl with blue eyes retold locally, asserted that Janet was running back to her house after being called in for dinner. She tripped and fell into the well. Essentially the same story, but with the older girl's name attached. It's possible that in the absence of clear facts, storytellers merge details from multiple graves. But today the consensus leans toward May as the true identity of Blue Eyes, given her age and the poignant inscription on her grave about a child going to heaven. In the folklore of Grey County, Meaford's Blue Eyes checks all the boxes of a classic ghost story. She's the innocent who died tragically before her time, tied to the site of her death and burial. Her restless spirit is said to manifest as a pale figure in antiquated clothes with an identifying feature, those luminous eyes, that both humanises and alienates her. Local belief states that she calls out for help she never received in life, and perhaps by luring the living toward peril, seeks to share her fate or at least make others understand her suffering. Soldiers are trained to respond to cries for help, to aid comrades or civilians in distress is ingrained in them. The legend of Blue Eyes perversely turns that virtue into a vulnerability. She exploits the instinct of a good Samaritan, which is why the caution, "do not follow the voice," is so firmly stressed by those who know the story. In a way, Meaford Mary has become a cautionary tale within the forces, a reminder to keep your wits about you, even when something tugs at your heartstrings. Don't let your guard down, or Meaford Mary might get to you. Some note how the story serves to connect the present generation at Meaford with the land's past. The modern military occupants are, in a sense, trespassers in someone else's old community, training among the tumbled stones of houses where children once laughed and played. The ghost of a young girl symbolises those lost ties and the human history that predates the base. In telling her story, the soldiers keep alive a memory of the people who walked that ground before them. Some even feel a strange protective or respectful attitude toward the ghosts. It's said that on occasion, patrols have left small tokens near the well or grave, a flower, a toy, almost as an apology or offering to the child spirit. Officially, such acts are discouraged, since, again, nobody should be veering near the well or disturbing graves, but the sentiment behind them is one of compassion. Blue Eyes is feared, yes, but also pitied. Her tale is fundamentally tragic, and hearing her thin wail in the night would inspire as much sadness as fear in many. Even in recent years, sightings continue. In 2019, a reserve unit conducting a nighttime live-fire exercise reported an unexpected ceasefire when multiple soldiers thought they saw a small figure dart across the range road in the distance. Range control was alerted, fearing a civilian child had somehow wandered into a dangerous area. A thorough sweep with thermal imagers found nothing. The only witnesses were shaken young soldiers who swore they saw a little girl in a white dress standing for a split second on the roadside. Incidents like this never make official reports, but they circulate informally. More commonly, though, experiences are mild. A sentry late at night feeling a sudden chill and hearing faint giggling or sobbing. A maintenance crew driving near the old cemetery at dusk and glimpsing a pale face in their rear-view mirror. The odd, inexplicable malfunctions, radios going to static, batteries draining, that prompt a nervous joke. Must be Mary messing with us. These odd happenings are often jokingly blamed on Blue Eyes. She's become a resident trickster ghost in the barracks, much like how other bases have their resident phantom stories. As one commentator put it, it's an interesting ghost story, specifically because so many no-nonsense army personnel have experienced it. These aren't bored teenagers concocting tales, often skeptical professionals who stumble upon something they truly cannot explain. And while science-minded observers point out the power of suggestion and tiredness in producing paranormal perceptions, even they have to concede that Meaford's environment could make anyone believe in ghosts for a night.
Hi, it's Sarah. I'm the founder of Olive and June, and can I tell you the one thing that always makes my day better? A fresh manicure. But who has the time or the money to go to the salon every week? That's why we created the Olive and June Gel Mani System. It gives you that same mani that you get at a salon for so much less. It comes with everything you need, a pro-level lamp, salon-grade tools, our damage-free gel polish that lasts up to 21 days. All you do is prep, paint, cure, and you're good to go. And the best part, it's super easy and so affordable. Each mani breaks down to $2. So let's skip that $80 salon appointment and get the salon quality look at home for so much less and on your schedule. Head to oliveandjune.com/DIYgel20 and use code DIYgel20 for 20% off your first gel mani system. That's oliveandjune.com/DIYgel20. Code DIYgel20 for 20% off your first gel mani system.
ClickUp just solved AI's biggest problem, and it's saving 4 million teams from productivity loss every day. Unlike ChatGPT and other AI tools, ClickUp converges all your work into one platform, so your AI super agents have full context to prioritize tasks, execute workflows, and draft documents instantly. Teams using ClickUp finish work 30% faster and cut meetings in half. Try ClickUp for free today and get 15% off AI upgrades at clickup.com/podcast. That's CLICKUP.com/podcast.
What a story. There's something about military bases that are just asking for it. I don't know what I mean by that. But I can just imagine all sorts of ghosty things going on there. And of course, soldiers winding each other up as well. Because I know I'd be doing that if I was in the army or in any military service area. But yeah, it's spooky and sad. Poor Mary. Whatever happened. But I did think there was one stage of this that I thought perhaps there was something there before that actually called to Mary, and that is the reason why she ended up in the well. Because sometimes land has evil. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't get rid of it. It's just there. Those are my thoughts and feelings. And maybe this piece of land just has evil. And so anything else that happens is from this evil. And so it's not really the ghost of Mary. It's the evil manifesting into the form of Mary. And perhaps, as I said, that is what called Mary down to the well in the first place, because it wanted to do away with her. Love to know your thoughts. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you again on Thursday with Rog for the Reddit and listener story episode, which is now on YouTube too. Take care, everyone.
Did you know you can save up to 70% on your favorite brands every single day? From Rebel.com sells strollers, car seats, espresso machines, skincare, cookware, everything you need for your home, your family, and your life, all for way less. Here's how it works. Every day, Rebel drops thousands of new products for up to 70% off. It's a nonstop feed of deals from brands like UPPAbaby, Nuna, Baby Bjorn, Nespresso, Breville, Wilson, Dyson, Caraway, and more. But every listing is one of a kind, so if you see something you love, you have to move fast. Why pay full price when you don't have to? From baby gear to tech to self-care staples, Rebel helps you save big on brands you know and love. Shop now at FromRebel.com.
One of the biggest challenges of earning a degree as a military veteran is transitioning your goals and experiences to your next phase in life. National University gets it. As a veteran-founded Yellow Ribbon School, they offer post-9/11 GI Bill acceptance, dedicated military support and advising services, and credit for your military experience. That's why 30% of their students are military affiliated. NU, education that serves those who served.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.